Hello, everybody. So, just doing a bit of an emergency live stream because people still aren't getting the message. They're not. Still coming to my videos, still talking, pushing different factions, agendas. Still not grasping the fact that without unity they have nothing. Doesn't matter what team you put forward for your party. Doesn't matter which personalities are drawn to which particular political party. If you don't have unity, you have nothing. If there's no unity within the right wing, you have nothing. And this is what these party leaders need to understand. You need to get down off your soapboxes and start pushing unity. Start inviting other parties to come and join you in one voice. And I'm not seeing that. I'm getting lots of comments on my videos saying, oh, but the Advanced Party is secular. That UKIP and Heritage Party are run by religious fanatics, and that's just in your opinion. Ben Habib is a Christian. He believes in Britain being a Christian nation. He said that. Rupert Lowe believes in that. So again, there is no differentiating between the 15 parties. There isn't. Yeah, Ben Habib may tone down his Christianity a bit, but he still believes that at its core. So that is no different from what UKIP is saying. It's no different to what the Heritage Party is saying. It's no different to what Britain First is saying. It's no different to what the Homeland Party is saying. All the policies are the same. At the end of the day, all you've got is the same policies. And it doesn't matter what team you've got, if they're still pushing the same policies, they're still saying the same things the other parties are saying. I had one guy coming forward saying, well, Ben Habib's new Advanced Party has got a college. It's like, so what? What does that mean to me? I don't give a toss about that. They've still got the same policies as all other parties. That's just an aspect of the party. Doesn't differentiate them from other parties, because the main thing that stands out about a political party is their stance on things that affect everyday people out in the real world. Their policies on how they will affect change to make your lives better. And all these 15 right-wing parties are all saying the same thing. So what differentiates them from each other? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Does it? Got 7 people watching. So I want to get people's views. I want to do this live so we can get some people with dissenting opinions coming in here and telling me what differentiates different parties from one another. What different policies do different parties have that's any different from the parties we've already got? How? And I'm not just bashing Advanced. People are, now you're bashing Advanced. I was disappointed with the launch of Advanced. I thought it was handled poorly. But I'm bashing all the parties. I'm bashing all the right-wing parties, all the right-wing leaders, because not one of them is coming out and calling for unity within the right wing. They just keep saying, we're the party that's going to change things, come and join us. There's no broad church out there of ideas that encompasses all these parties. It's either their way or the highway, as far as they're concerned. Even Ben Habib, you can't be a member of his party if you're a member of any other party. That's not unity. People want leadership. And I keep saying, I don't understand why. Every time we get a new party, we've got to have a new movement. I've looked at Rupert Lowe and Rupert Lowe's Restore. Yeah, it's doing some good stuff, but I don't get it. It's like, wasn't that supposed to be the job of the Great British PAC to do that? Wasn't that supposed to be a think tank that delivered policy and, brought people together to join it from different spectrums? It's doing exactly the same thing as the Great British PAC, but under a different name. I don't get it. Yeah, Rupert Lowe's a good guy. I get that. Rupert Lowe's a good guy. But why? Why do we have to start another movement? Why can't we just draw on the movement that already exists? Don't understand. Don't get it, don't understand at all. So yeah, I'm waiting for a few people to come with the comments and explain to me what differentiates all the different parties. If you are, in a particular party and you're pushing for that, tell me how you are different from any of the other right-wing parties out there at the minute. How are you any different? And I don't include the Reform Party as a right-wing party. I don't. They're centre-left as far as I'm concerned. Thought Deborah's got to say. Hey Deborah, how you doing? Stop being pawns playing their game. They're ideologues. Get out of the matrix. To parties will save you. Leadership is yourselves. Exactly. Dino Bain's been pushing this. He doesn't believe in political parties. I'm starting to go down his train of thought. It's just tribalism. None of these right-wing parties are saying anything different. They're not. None of them are. They're saying the same thing. Policy-wise, if you look down the policies, if you line them all up together, you look down the policies, they're all exactly the same. The only thing different is their team. And whoopee-doo. Because come polling day, when it comes to a general election, are you really going to vote for a particular party because of that team or that team? Or are you going to vote because of the policies that affect you? I'm just saying. So what people have actually got to say. It's all rich men ego. It has been about them. We don't have a true people's party truly pushing Britain first. Exactly. We don't. we just don't. And until we do, well, I want somebody just to actually, the party that comes forward says, I want unity. Let's get together. Let's get together with all these other parties. Let's draw our resources. Let's come out in one voice. And if that means they've all got to disband and form a new party under one banner, so be it. That's the way forward. But at the minute, it's like what I said in my last video. You've got one party that is basically saying the same thing that's been split into 15 individual parties, and they're all going to be fighting for the same voters come the next general election. And what is stronger? One unified party or 15 separate individual parties all fighting for the same vote, all splitting the vote 15 ways? Which is stronger? I think a lot of people think that way. I won't be voting for anyone as things stand. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. All this division is just going to make people even more disillusioned with the political system. It's just going to push more people away from it. It's not going to invite people to want to vote. Like, look, God, it's an absolute shit show. There's no point voting. It's an absolute mess. That's what people are going to think. That's what's going to make people think, because there's no cohesion. Yes, they all need to come together. Exactly. Crabs in a bucket. Yep. It is. It's an absolute shit show at the minute, the right-wing politics. Katie Hopkins came out and made a video, and she just pointed out the lunacy of all these individual parties. It's like, yeah, it's what I've said in the title of this video. United we stand, divided we fall. There's no unity. Absolutely no unity whatsoever. I keep getting people coming to my videos telling me why I should vote for a particular party. And when I ask them, I say, well, what policies are different from all the other policies? Because that's what I'm going to vote on, policies. Not which personalities are involved with the party. Don't care about that. What policies do they have? And what ability do they have to implement those policies? That's what they want to bring in, one world government. Yep. Hey people, hello. Adam, how you doing, mate? I feel the same way. I'm like, this new party, and I'm not bashing Advanced, I'm just saying that it hasn't made me more optimistic for the future. It's made me less, because all I'm seeing is just another party to split the vote even further between the already growing amount of right-wing parties. That's all that's going to happen. And then you've got to go up against the Reform Party. Then you've got to go up against Labour and the Tories. It'll end up with a hung parliament. It will. Unless something drastically happens, like Reform completely collapses and all their voters shift to this new advanced UK party. It's not looking good. Same here. I like Ben, but I don't like all the vote splitting. Exactly. So look, stop supporting UKIP since 2019. Coop, they are only operating to keep getting the legacy money from the OAPs who don't know they're donating. Reform is toast. Don't panic. So there again, division, more division. Stop voting UKIP. Why? Who should I vote for then? Reform could have been something great if it wasn't for Tyrus Farage or for leadership. Exactly. But in hindsight, and it's never going to happen. There's no point raking over the coals of what is the Reform Party. If Ben Habib had never left, if Richard Tice had stood down, Ben Habib took over the party, it might have been a very different story with Reform. Very different story. Ben could have brought in, Howard Cox would never have left. He could have brought in all the other people, had a great team behind him, and done some great things with the Reform Party. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Nigel Farage saw to that. Do you really think I support Reform to stop being? Yeah. The more I see everything that's happening in this country, the more I'm just on this path of we're not going to get out of this in a political way. Because I said it in my video earlier today that 4 years is a long way off, and I don't recognise my country now. And people need hope at the minute. They need hope, not more division, not more political parties. They need unity and unifying. And all the party does is when it appears and when it says, "Come and join us," but you can't be a part of any other political group or movement. You've got to be part of us to join. It's just sowing more division, and it's not solving anything, is it? I just want some of these people that came to my videos today to come into the chat and explain to me what's the difference between all 15 parties. That's all I want to know. What's the difference? Please look at how legacy money is collected by one man. Is not what you think. Don't have to apologise, Jack. Perfectly fine there, mate. It's all part of the plan. We'll never vote our way out of this problem, though. The system is broken beyond repair, unfortunately. But joining parties isn't the answer. It's voting for governance of the country, not joining a social club. Exactly. Now, I've pushed UKIP on several occasions, but I want to make it quite clear. I include UKIP in this as well as one of the parties that isn't calling for unity. I know Nick Tenkoni reached out to Rupert Lowe, Ben Habib. I know he reached out to him. That's all I'm going to say on that. Regarding UKIP, they've got their own issues. The first thing, I know he was interim leader, but as soon as he became officially leader of UKIP, he should have just completely rebranded UKIP's image. Kept the name because UKIP is still an important name, it can still be used. Maybe just added a few things, different flag. Just removed all trace of Nigel Farage from UKIP. Get rid of his aesthetics, his images that he did for Reform. That's what he should have done. When you say the right split up, does that benefit Keir Starmer? Of course it does. If you've got 15 parties all saying the same thing that don't differentiate from themselves on anything but name and leader, what's going to happen during the general election, Jack? All these little factions are going to have their little followings, their little tribes that follow them. They're going to be the voters. And so the general election comes around. You've got 15 parties. Nobody's going to vote for one particular party. They're all going to vote for these individual parties, including Advance, UKIP, Homeland Party, Britain First, all these parties. And then you're just going to split the vote even more. So we're not even talking about splitting the vote between Reform and the Conservatives anymore. It's now between Reform, the Conservatives, and Labour, and then 15 other smaller parties that are now in existence. It's just ever diminishing returns. Every time a new party pops up, ever diminishing returns because it starts up, and its own little tribe forms around it. Just like we've seen with Reform, the Farages. The same thing will happen with all the other different parties. You will see the fanatics, the groupies forming around all these little individual parties that can't get it through their heads they need to unify in order to make a difference. Because separate they are weak, united they are strong. They just can't see it. Can't see it. Mentioned this morning, the Canadian leader of the Conservatives was defeat in his riding by the same Liberal aim 90 candidates. Yep. It's all damn circus on the stage to set star. Drag number 3. Yeah. The irony is Keir Starmer at Labour is very unpopular on the left. But they'll still vote for it. You've still got all the Muslim vote, I assume, because unless, you know what, I don't even think Labour is going to get that many votes at the next election, because in 4 years' time, those new independent Muslim Islamic parties are going to be established. They're going to have plenty of money thrown at them. They're getting money from Qatar and other places. The Muslim Brotherhood fund them, so they're going to have plenty of money and plenty of money behind them to run their parties. So you see the next general election, you're probably going to see Labour lose the Muslim vote because now Muslims have got parties that they can vote for themselves. We've already got independent Muslims in Parliament that aren't even part of the Labour Party. There is plenty of time before 2029. Rupert's think tank is clever. It's not a party, so it can influence policy of party. It will. Yeah, but my point is, we've already got that. The Great British Pack that Ben Habib set up was supposed to do exactly the same thing that Rupert Lowe's Restore UK is doing. It's a think tank. It's devising policy. So what is the point in it? I don't get it. And that has any relevance, as I'm not contributing money to a party. So square that circle. Yeah. We just need unity. We need. I'm just reading the comments about. We just need unity. Yes, after the next election, there will be around 20 Islamists in Parliament, and only good thing is it may cost Labour about 50 seats. Yeah, but once we start getting these Muslims into government, they're going to have influence. They're going to start influencing policy. Doesn't matter if they're independent. They're going to start influencing policy. They're voting. They're going to have voting power within Parliament. And all we can do on the right is argue about which party is the best. It's like, well, then they're not going to be any good because they're religious fanatics. They're no good. Oh, it's just all this petty fucking infighting that does my head in. You know, all of them, and I said this in the video today, all of them claim to love the country. So why don't you just put the country first? Ditch your egos and put country first. Half of them don't love the country. This is about gaining power and being famous for some of these people. That's what I think. We didn't need a new party. We didn't need a new party at all. If you know, I don't care which party it was. Don't care which party it was out of these new 15 parties. Rupert and Ben Habib should have picked one of these parties and joined it, and then become a unifying force, saying, "Look, we need to bring all these parties in together." That's what should have happened, not a new party. It literally is. I mean, lots of people have been saying it's like the scene out of Monty Python, where you've got the two different factions. What is it? The Judaism Liberation Front, and the liberation of Judaism. Well, I don't know what it is, but you know what I mean. It's like they're all the same. They're exactly the same, and they don't realize it, and they just argue because of ego. It's nothing to do with disagreeing about policy. It's ego. It's about them wanting to be the leader that saves the country. Yeah, that's it, Steve. Yeah, and what's the other one? What's the other one? People's Front of Judea. Yeah, and the other one was, I think it was the opposite, wasn't it? It was the same name, just opposite, like the Judea, Judean People's Front or something, wasn't it? Basically the same thing, but with a different name. It is. It's like a Monty Python sketch at the minute. The left wing. Half of them don't love the country, and for a moment I thought you meant the Islamists. I think we all know where their loyalty lies. It's not with this country at all, is it? They still support Rupert Lowe and what he's doing. I support him as an MP. I support him as an MP in Parliament trying to do the right thing. But at the end of the day, he's just one man in Parliament. And he's got one vote to cast, hasn't he? And like I said, I don't think Rupert Lowe's going to be running in the next general election. I don't think he's going to bother. Everything that he's doing at the minute says to me that he's bowing out. I don't understand why he's created Restore UK when Ben Habib only a few months ago created the Great British PAC, which was doing exactly the same thing that the Restore UK is doing. Don't you think it would have made more sense for him and Ben Habib to get together and build up the Great British PAC rather than start something new? I think something's gone off. I think something's gone off between Ben Habib and Rupert Lowe. I think they've disagreed. Unfortunately, they both got strong personalities, egos, yet again, and I think there's been a disagreement there along the line. And they're not saying it in public because they want to push this image of them being unified. But why wouldn't Rupert Lowe join Ben Habib's new party? That would have been the breakthrough moment, wouldn't it? You recruit Ben Habib, you recruit Rupert Lowe. He's an MP in Parliament already. Now your party is launched. You started off with one MP in Parliament. That would have been a strong message. Didn't happen though, did it? Like I said, the whole launch of Advance UK was piss poor, absolutely piss poor. Piss poor planning, piss poor performance. That's what happened. They already said on Load Seaters that they may unite in future. For now, they want to be an influence group. But there already is an influence group. Why do we need another one? The Great British PAC already exists. Why can't Rupert Lowe work with the Great British PAC instead of creating something himself? This is what I don't understand. Everybody seems to be dancing around the issue. It's like, I'm talking about unity. There doesn't seem to be much unity. They want to act as separate entities. And this is my issue. It's like, you don't need to be separate entities. You need to be working together, unified, for the betterment of this country. Separate, you're not very effective. But together, with your joint resources, you're more effective. Exactly, Steve. We have 15 influence groups. Because if you're not in Parliament, that's all you are. You're an influence group. And we've got 15 influence groups all saying the same thing, but refuse to unite in one voice, which would make them stronger. But instead, they decided to keep themselves as individual entities, which makes them weak. Because the left have hundreds of influence groups. Yeah, but the left are united. They're united under one ideology. The right isn't. Are they? So what would be better for the right wing? It would be better to have one coherent voice, just one group influencing everything rather than thousands of them that are disjointed and are just unconnected and just have no influence at all. You don't have to be a collectivist. Look at World War II. The Allies. Look at the Allies. You couldn't get more polar opposite than the Soviet Union and America, but they were allies during World War II out of necessity. They were bitter enemies, but even they realized that they had to come together and be allies against the common enemy. And that's what we need. The common enemy isn't ourselves, it's not other right-wing parties, it's the people that are in power right now. It's the people that are in control of our institutions right now. And who is that? That's the Marxist communists. So instead of unifying against a common enemy, everybody's fighting out over who wants to be the one to be leader of the movement and all that shit. I thank God that these people were in charge of the alliance during World War II, because we would have been screwed. We would have been invaded and we'd all be goose-stepping right now. If it was up to the present right-wing movement, we'd be screwed 100%. Because half of them don't know their arse from their elbow. They don't. It's not about merging into one. It's about lots of little groups coming together for the greater good and uniting against the greater threat, which is the communists, Marxists that we have in government right now, and that are in control of our institutions and that are basically dictating your daily life right now. What's more important? Unifying in an alliance to fight the common enemy, or bitter, stupid infighting over which party we should all get behind? It's pointless. I was going to bring this up in a video, but GB News brought it up yesterday. They said that ISIS might be coming across the channel and invading us in disguise. Yeah, GB News, you're only like a decade late. They told us what they were going to do a decade ago. They literally did. They literally said, yeah, we're going to infiltrate the refugee routes, the illegal immigrant routes, and we're going to infiltrate them, and we're going to get people into your country. They're only a decade behind the times, GB News. Yeah, there are ISIS terrorist cells operating in this country right now, sleeper cells. We know this. We know this already. It's not a scoop. You're not telling us anything we don't already know. Exactly, Steve. It's like, do you really think that they haven't been infiltrating these migrant boats and getting into this country? Exploiting the stupidity of our government by allowing undocumented, mainly fighting age men into this country, undocumented, not putting them in detention camps, not verifying who they are, just sticking them in hotels and then giving them free reign to roam about the country to just disappear. They've openly admitted they've lost, was it 40,000 illegal immigrants? They don't know where they are. And that's not counting the ones that make landfall that they have no clue about at all. We're just talking about the ones that they know about. Many people don't understand that. All they see is the boats being escorted in, or the illegals coming in, escorted in by the border force. That's not the whole amount coming in at all. We've got dinghies making landfall all over the place that these people have no clue about where they're from and what they're doing here. There's even been talks about weapons being found at some of these landing sites, automatic machine guns, pistols, that sort of thing. So for all we know, these people are making landfall because our border force is absolutely shite. They could just, we've basically got ISIS terror cells just walking straight into the country, fully armed, for all they know. They haven't got a clue. They haven't got a clue who is coming into our country because our border is wide open. We don't patrol it. I'll refer people back to active patriot when he was walking along the Dover seafront, and he could see the dinghies landing and then just running ashore inland, just disappearing into the population, never to be seen again. And yet here we are on the right arguing about which party we should all get behind and vote for when they're all saying exactly the same effing thing. Talk, someone found an AR-15 in a dinghy the other day. Yeah, exactly. It's already happening. And yet we're pissing into the wind about which party should we get behind, who's best. They don't count the ones coming in over in the back of lorries. No, that they're coming in the back of lorries, they're coming across in the dinghies, they're making landfall. They've got the ones where the French warships escort them to our border force, who pick them up like a good little taxi service and bring them into our country. So I've not seen any of these people coming into the chat to to tell me how their party that they're going to vote for, their right wing party they're going to vote for, is any different from any of the others, apart from who's leading it and the team that's behind it. Because this is important, and it's true what it says on here with the title of this live stream. Without unity, nothing will change. It doesn't matter what team you bring into your party. It doesn't matter. If you are not a unifying force, if you're not reaching out to other party leaders and asking them to form an alliance, there's no point in you. There isn't, because you're just becoming more part of the problem than we've already got. The right wing was already fractured beyond recognition before this new party came along. It's even more fractured now. How long before people start telling me to stop criticising the Advanced Party, just like the Farages are doing? Stop criticising and we start getting the tribalistic, Farage's cultist type members forming around the Advanced Party. And let's look at this, right? Who actually benefits from all of this? Who benefits? It's a win-win situation for the leaders of these parties, isn't it? Because they're being funded by members. So it doesn't really matter if any of these people get into power, because it's a win-win. Win-win for them. Doesn't matter if the country goes to shit, because they're still leader of a party. They're still getting your hard-earned cash through membership fees. It's up to every individual person and members of these parties to demand unity. And just give them an ultimatum and say, without unity, there's nothing. If you don't start offering to unify with other parties and form one cohesive alliance, then I'm just not going to give you my membership fees anymore. I'm going to, discard you as a party. Everybody needs to do that. They need to be forced into an alliance. They need to be made to see that people are sick of this bullshit infighting all the time, and just, for God's sakes, just unify and give us some hope. It's about stirring the true Reformed patriots. The two new groups are for media coverage. It's about exposing Farage and taking him down from insurgency within. Reform are already shedding members. Yeah, they are. They're hemorrhaging members. They're bleeding out. Right, I didn't want to make this too long. Obviously, people haven't come to the live stream who were very vocal in my videos on the video comments. So I'm going to end this stream on this little note, right? It's what we say at the top here. Without unity, nothing will change. United we stand, divided we fall. This is Vindicator, signing off.